Gordon is the fastest engine on the island of Sodor. He is proud of being the only engine strong and fast enough to pull the express from Knapford to Vickerstown. One morning, he pulled into the yard as usual. Edward was busy arranging a goods train. "Edward," asked Gordon, "where are my coaches?" "Sir Topham Hatt is having Donald and Douglas take the express today. He wants you to take this goods train to Brenham Docks." "What on earth made him make that change?" "Maybe it's because you're the fastest engine on Sodor. I'm guessing he wants this train to be there early if he chose you to pull it." And Edward puffed away. Gordon sighed heavily. "At least I'm not shunting this train today," he said as he backed down on the freight cars. As he was being coupled, Bill and Ben came looking for cars of their own, but once they saw Gordon, they thought it much better fun to tease him. "Look here," said Bill. "It's Gordon." "Why, yes it is," replied Ben. Gordon pretended he couldn't hear them. "I wonder why he's backed up to these cars," wondered Bill. "Beats me. He's an express engine who's going to pull freight cars," laughed Ben. "Huh," grunted Gordon indignantly. He whistled loudly, and he pulled the heavy train swiftly out of the yard. As he sped along the line, he began to lag a bit. He was thinking about taking the express rather than a freight train. "Donald and Douglas must be enjoying themselves right about now," Gordon thought to himself. He finally made it to Brenham Docks and pulled along to the loading deck. Cranky was waiting for him. "Well, Sir Topham Hatt was right," Cranky remarked. "You really did get here early." "I did?" asked Gordon. He was confused. "Yes, 3 hours early. This train wasn't due until noon," said Cranky. Gordon was about to ask a question when Sir Topham Hatt himself arrived. "Ah, good work, Gordon. You've been quick. Here are some coaches. These passengers need to get to Crovan's Gate. Take them there, will you?" "Yes, sir," replied Gordon. He was so happy to be pulling coaches again, he forgot to be cross. Later that night, he and Edward were alone in the shed. "Why did you let me take that train so early? Actually, you weren't supposed to leave until 10:30. I shunted your train first because I had a feeling you might pull it slowly. At least slower than the express." "Me? Go slow? I'm an express engine. I don't go slow," scoffed Gordon, and he shut his eyes and fell asleep. Edward just chuckled to himself. Next morning, Gordon chuffed happily along the main line with the express. As he passed the other engines, he whistled to them. While he was at Vickerstown Yards, the yard manager approached him. "Gordon, Sir Topham Hatt told me to tell you that you'll be taking freight cars again tomorrow instead of the express." "Ugh, again? Why can't Henry do it?" "Henry had an accident at Brenham Docks last night and is in the works." "Figures. Sir Topham Hatt wanted me to tell you today so you would be ready for tomorrow." "Is it a special train?" pondered Gordon. "I'm afraid not. Just a regular goods delivery." "Oh, how undignified," Gordon complained. "We'll just have to put up with it, old boy," said his driver. On his way back from Vickerstown, Gordon's mood was significantly brought down. Other engines whistled to him, but he didn't whistle back. When he arrived back at Knapford, he let his passengers out at the platform, shunted his coaches away himself, and trundled slowly back to the sheds. The other engines gazed thoughtfully at him, but Gordon didn't say anything. He puffed into an empty berth and sulked to himself until he fell asleep. Next morning, he woke up very tired and very cross. He shuffled slowly into the yard where he found his train waiting. "Let's get this over with," Gordon sulked. Just then, Bill and Ben arrived. "Hey, Gordon, where's the express?" teased Bill. "James is taking it today," he replied. "And you're pulling freight cars instead," remarked Ben cheekily. "Obviously," sighed Gordon. "Do you two mind? I'm trying to get ready." "Our apologies," said Bill. "We just heard you were pulling cars and wondered how slow you would be pulling them." "I'm an express engine," Gordon grunted loudly. "If you think I'm going to go slow, I'll show you how an express engine pulls freight cars." Gordon pumped his pistons loudly, and with a mighty sound of his whistle, he puffed away. Gordon sped along through the countryside with his heavy train. "Now this is how you pull freight cars," he said to himself. But there was trouble ahead. A signalman had accidentally left the point switched to an old branch line, and Gordon found himself going the wrong way. "That's strange. I'm on the branch line." "Oh no!" cried the signalman. "Heavy engines like Gordon aren't supposed to go there." But it was too late. Gordon had already raced off into the distance. The branch line was old and rusty, and there were signs everywhere telling all engines to go slow. But Gordon ignored the signs. "I'm an express engine, I don't go slow." And he went even faster. The branch line couldn't take his weight, and the rails buckled. "Oh no!" cried Gordon as he slid off the track and into a field. Luckily, no one was hurt, but Gordon felt very undignified. What will Sir Topham Hatt say? He found out soon enough when Sir Topham Hatt arrived with the breakdown crew. "Well, Gordon, you wanted to show Bill and Ben a thing or two, and you've certainly done that. You've shown them how silly it is to ignore go slow signs." "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir," said Gordon meekly. "I know it wasn't your fault you were diverted, but safety comes first. Remember that," finished Sir Topham Hatt. A few days later, Gordon arrived back at the sheds. "Everyone makes mistakes," said Edward. "Even you." "We're sorry we teased you," said Bill and Ben. "I'm sorry I ignored the go slow signs," said Gordon. "I guess letting my ego get in my way got me into trouble." All the engines let out a jolly toot, including Gordon, who was the loudest of all.